Hello and welcome to Midwest Weekly. I'm your host, Sleepy Hairwiz, also featuring today Nexus of Mapogo, and of course, as always, our friend, our favorite man in the earth. He is named after himself, CLT. Welcome.
Thank you.
How
Thank you.
how you guys feeling?
It's almost midnight here on the East Coast. I'm dragging through this, but we're gonna make this work.
I'm doing all right, man.
Oh, you're
Kind of got
cheating.
done with my busy time of year. I'm PST, so we're in good hours over here. Can't complain too much.
That's good.
Weird flex.
Yeah. Weird flex, he says. So those of you that don't know, yeah, Nexus is the support for Mapogo Coalition. He's been around here now for about a year now, right? Nexus, your team?
I think so. Yeah, it's been a good year too.
Yeah, it definitely has. So they've played at least, I want to say three splits, maybe four. He'd have to give me the math on that, but I think it's somewhere around there. So their team has now become like a mainstay. They weren't originally Mapogo, but that's what they are now. So kind of missed the old team name, to be honest.
Yeah,
Huh?
formerly Ninja Turts.
Yeah, but
Had to go
Yep.
through a rebrand. It's a long
Mm.
story there, but thanks for the introduction. I think only thing I want to add is it's super excited to be on the show. I guest hosted the Rec League, or co-hosted, excuse me, the former Rec League, now Herald League weekly show, and been seeing all these just phenomenal guests come on week by week, and happy to throw my hat in the ring, contribute a little bit, maybe hopefully give some new takes and give you guys just a tiny little breather because I know it's crazy to produce these week in and week out.
yeah, they're pretty simple. You just say a bunch of nonsense, and then everybody just agrees, and then you just move on with your life.
Mhm. Damn,
No,
I wish I worked that way for me.
no. Honestly, like I think the hardest thing of the show sometimes because we don't like write scripts or anything is just sometimes you want to talk about things of your own like choice, but you also don't want to leave things out. Like, because obviously, if you're a fan of the show, like you definitely probably enjoy hearing about your team, knowing what we think about your team, knowing how the series went, and what you think about your picks, and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. And definitely like to have sometimes some deeper dive-ins. I think this is the split. I just kind of just stopped casting at a certain point, so I haven't dove into the series as much as I normally do. Because casting helps there, but honestly, that's just the hardest part. Is just being unscripted sometimes because you're like, what the hell do I say right now? You know, your brain kind of goes. So, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I get it. We just have no, I don't even know if we have an outline, a very loose plan, and then you do a good job steering the ship. So excited to see what we get up to today.
Yes, some more shenanigans as usual, and so we're gonna do something a little different today with the show, guys. We are not gonna go as in deep. Listen to me, in depth into the series, but we are definitely gonna touch a little more on Scorch Femboys. I think of the series. I think that's the only one that truly mattered and had the biggest implications for playoffs. Um, and then we're gonna do some conversations about these two play-in matchups this weekend, and I'd like to have a little my last thoughts on MVP and maybe just all-star kind of conversations too. I think those are always fun. Um, Huge shout out to Rusty for finishing up the player stats. Me and him were kind of teamworking them for about 4 weeks there, and then me and him just fell behind, and then he just sprinted it one day and got them all done. So huge ups to that guy for taking care of business there, and um, and yeah, that's about it. So I think we can get started with the first series, which is between Small Brain No Mechanics and Stunned Gaming Mythos. Um, just a quick little overview. This game was played. Um, Honestly, I'm gonna be sure. Like, I don't even think this game was that bad. Actually, just a quick note. I don't even think it was that bad, but it was unfortunate that some things didn't go our way. We had two subs too, so you know, Vic was out, and so was Fid. So we had GeoProw and Vic and Tech in there, which appreciate their services, but not playing with us, I'm sure, did not help out the synergies there. So Sun Mythos looked great though. Good team.
Mhm.
And then game two, I think game two is worse by all means. But we tried our best. Zemo played really well this series though. I think he did really good in Astros. I know the scoreline might not say that, but he was winning lane and pretty dominant there. but Astros play extremely well outside of lane. Um, Rexy is a very excellent support. That guy is not easy to deal with as well. Um, I thought 129 played fantastic. It was fun to play against. Would love to uh, would love to play him again. Don't know if that's gonna happen, but would love to just get kind of that redemption series against him because I think after the last 5 weeks, the sixth week, I just kind of was exhausted mentally playing games. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't want to say tilted, but I was just exhausted. It's been a rough period up to that point, personally. Even though I've had a successful season, it doesn't feel that way when you're 3-6. But yeah, that's pretty much I think the main breakdown for me. Do you guys have any like small little thoughts? I'll play a little bit of the series while you guys kind of talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think you brought up having two subs never going to feel good, regardless of how they perform. It's just things are going to be different in the comms, in the game itself, in terms of how you play around each other. I think Small Brains, from what I remember seeing in this series, uh, Small Brains early game is plenty serviceable, and I think things just kind of fall apart as the game progresses into the mid to late game. I think this game one, early game was going okay. Bot lane was struggling a bit, but that's kind of expected with Ezreal Karma. And then this is jumping way too far ahead, but I know we're zooming through it. It felt like it was just one fight in kind of mid game. I want to say it was around like 18 or 20 minutes in that mid lane where I think you guys just got like 5-0'd, and it was an insanely close fight. Vacant Tech was on the Aatrox really close to some resets, and it just didn't go your way. And that's where, hey, maybe having that team synergy could have been nice. Or on the flip side, just speaks to how good this Mythos squad was able to, slowly build these leads and then really capitalize on a huge team fight. Yeah, see if you can find that. You have any thoughts on the game, CLT?
I caught a touch of this game. I think when I tuned in, Zenmo was something like 4-1 or like 5-2. Had himself a really nice early game, but then yeah, there was a few team fights where it felt like Zenma or Vacant Tech just couldn't get the resets going. I know there was a few fights that stunned left on really really low health. They ended up winning it, but yeah, I just think it's a hard game for you guys to play post laning phase, especially you got Silas, Steel, and Malphite all to go in with Nocturne or Scion. So it's a hard team fight when he's posturing with that. And you guys you played your comp really well. You always tried to make the first move and try to blow somebody up, but just Mythos I think was a little better on the reactionary, and they were definitely a lot more cohesive. Obviously, you guys have two subs, as Nexus mentioned. It's always hard to get the coordination on. It is nice to see Vacant Tech and GeoProw kind of back on the Midwest screens. So
Yeah, I was glad to have them. They literally both ended up being like pretty much last second. It was a funny story, but basically we originally were trying to get that Gojo was gonna play with us and go top lane, and then I thought Fid was supposed to be in town, but apparently he was going out of town again for a couple days. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I will get subs, and then Gojo got swapped out, and it was like, all right. So it was all kind of giga sad, but um, it was what it is. It's no
yeah,
one's really fault. I think it was a fun little game one, but at the end of the day, I think Mythos is a hard out for anybody, um, let alone a team that's obviously been struggling at times when, like you kind of said yourself, Nexus has these nice early games, but always finds a way to blow it. Uh, so just the luck of the cards sometimes. But anything else in particular? Like we don't have to necessarily talk about game two, we can. But is there anything else you guys wanted to note?
I gotta ask, were you just like craving this Zed Jungle game too, or what?
Um, I mean, I like Zed there to be honest,
Since-
and everything. But
since-
like, I think the only thing that's really annoying is Rel. But I can still play around that if the game like goes a little better. But no, I like Zed there.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. Embrace the shadow, man. Unseen blade is the deadliest. All that jazz.
I got hit by an unlucky charm on one play. It was really sad. I was going to flash W, and then alt the Aria to kill her. And I don't think she meant to predict my flash, but she did mean to throw a charm. And as I was Wing, like I basically flashed into the charm. It was the most depressing
Oof.
thing in the world. Um, but no, I mean it's in the mobile Jinx. Ari, I like the matchup as Zed when I played it mid lane many years ago. Um, Mundo is fine, like as far as early game goes. If you get a big enough lead, you can even deal with him into like the mid game and stuff when he's got like an item or two. Um, Cassante, you ignore. It's Cassante. I mean, why do I want to kill that guy? And again, Rel, it's like a little annoying, but you can play around her pretty much. So that's
Yeah,
all.
I'm with you. You got 4 jungle bands as well. We can shout that out. And one more note is
Oh
I
yeah.
do like seeing you. I think Small Brain's success a lot, stems from Hairwiz's gameplay, and so you kind of want to lean towards putting what I would say is your best player on something that has more carry agency. So I know the Zed can be really tough to execute, and some unlucky stuff happens, but I don't mind the pick. It was just Mythos, I think, played around it really well, and that's what ended up giving them the win in this game too.
Yeah, no, they definitely shut me down. I mean, I talked to Rexy after the series because we had him on the show. He's obviously a cool guy, and he's just like, yeah, we played to shut you down. And I was like, oh, thanks, dude. Thanks, I appreciate it. That's great. Yeah. Uh, so,
Thanks, bro. Prick.
I mean, it's a compliment though, right? Like it's what it
Oh, it
is.
is for sure, but it's just funny how that goes.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, we 5 banned you and picked away a jungler and the 2 junglers from Fearless last game. So have fun with like
Yeah.
your C tier jungler,
Yeah, you're not allowed to
and
play
then
the
we're gonna
game.
put beefcakes in front of Jinx. Got it.
Yeah. I mean, I could have picked other stuff, I'm sure, to play if I really wanted to try to play like something meta. There's some more meta picks out there. I like Zed there, and to be honest, I wanted to test it there. So,
You got
um,
good CC in the mid lane, so like it
yeah,
makes sense.
I would if I were to go back, I would do it with the actual team too. I like if we had Fid and Vic, I still would have slammed it there. I think regardless, I wasn't bothered by the pick. In fact, it's one of my for me when I play solo queue at least. I have a lot of success normally on Zed, so I'm not revealing anything there. So I haven't played as much this season though. I will say. But yeah, let's get into this next game here. We have Maple Go Coalition going up against Hidden Leaf. I know Nexus really said he loved the series and that he loved how everyone played. That was his exact words, kind of like mine. I loved how my team
Pretty
played that
much.
series. Um, but yeah, no. So Akaza seemed like he had a simple game. So did Maki. So did Gojo. So did really the whole team. But I just see the 0 deaths. So they had themselves a nice game. Xerath, yum, fun champ. Uh, looks like you guys didn't have as much fun. Nexus, what was going on with the karma there, man? What
Yeah,
happened?
this was just one of those games where we're all over. You kind of just lose, and that's just props to Hidden Leaf because they, especially in this game one, just outclassed us in every single role, every single skirmish, every single fight. And so it was a pretty quick game one. It's one of those games you go next, try not to get tilted. I think draft was really good from them. This Nocturne Xerath Ash combo. There's a clip of me getting killed from like 3 screens away. Kind of funny. Way later, but the game was
Okay.
well decided before that. Ash Seraphine. I know there's a lot of talk over that, and I won't spend too long on it because we are trying to speed through. If you want to ask me what happened, I think it just played pretty disrespectfully, and that ended up with me on the karma getting caught. I don't think Ash Seraphine is like quote unquote the strongest 2v2 bot lane. I think it's just so punishing to play against. And I haven't had too much experience, honestly, playing against Ash Seraphine. I want to say this is my first time playing against them in the
Being on the end of it.
season 2026. But anytime you just step a little too far, that Ash W comes in, the Seraphine root comes in. And so mostly on me, we fell behind bot lane in the early game. In the top side, lead was sitting on that ward in the pixel bush for a good like 30 seconds, I think. And Gojo was playing around that really well. We had no clue that he knew. And so things were behind from the get-go, and we just never really recovered because Hidden Leaf is really good at snowballing, especially when their top side gets leads, because Akaza can push the pace. You get Toji on the map. Maki can stay safe. So you can see me die here with just the overstep, the power of Ash Seraphine, and they utilized that very well. So, game one, this early game really tells you all you need to know. This clip right here, right? We're 4-0, 3.5 minutes in, and they kind of just shut the door on us. There was very little chance to come back, it felt like. And I think this was one of those situations you just go next.
Yeah,
This was
it reminds me of the Wukong game I had earlier, the split where I was playing against Incarnate, where it's just kind of like the game's just going bad for you, and you're just like, all right, well, it's fun. This is fun. I'll see you next game.
uh, I the draft on the Hidden Leaf side. I'm him and Leaf are homies for sure for me. They were we scrimmed them twice when I was on Froggy last split before everything went down. And actually I talked to is Guillaume last year, but now it's Goji on the top lane this year. And we stumbled onto the Nocturne Xerath combo in at actual scrim I'm doing with my Rec League team. And I said, "Hey, your mid laner plays Xerath, right?" He goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Try this." So Nexus, you a homie? Sorry about that, brother. Because I think I got a message after that, and he's just like, "That's nasty." I'm like, "Yeah, Nocturne turns the lights off. You don't see where they're coming. Like the bolts, it can be hard. You're playing Frogger, and there's cars coming at you a million miles an hour, and there's no respawn. Is what it feels like. It's so insane.
Yeah.
Um. So yeah, absolutely love this draft. This type of draft, I absolutely love to see. Uh, I know you guys ran Ash Seraphine a few times, didn't you?
Yeah, they
You
ran it
know,
against us.
Yeah, yeah, we
yeah,
had the chance. Well, you can see it here. There's the combo. Just so much
yeah,
range. I mean, it was,
Yeah, so
yeah.
I want to note this for you, Nexus, actually, because I was talking to the Hidden Leaf
yes.
guys. I don't know what day, but we were having a conversation, and they were saying that from what they were literally looking up on whatever they were using, whatever site, whatever that 2v2 site is for bot lane, that basically that's the best lane in the game, especially competitively. Now there is like some counters, but they're like solo queue counters, so it's pretty much the most broken bot lane.
The the only thing I've seen there's two like trends because we've played against Ash Seraphine quite a bit in scrims. Mel, you have to ban Mel just because of the reflect. It's so dirty to deal with. Um, it's either support or mid. It's just so annoying to play against. But also like Jarvan is so hard to play into just because of the unstoppable and the ult and the range that he engage.
Yeah, I think you have to be
So
strong with the Jarvan though, because I was that Jarvan and I was strong, but other
Oh,
people weren't, and we still lost the video game. So I don't know
yeah,
about
I mean both of
that.
them need both of them still. They're not like one you pick this champion you win the game against Ash
Yeah, I
Seraphine,
get you.
but it's definitely those type of theme on the champions. Mel's so unique with the reflect that it's just hard for Ash Seraphine to play team fights unless Mel is TPing in there. But the Jarvans, the Malphites, the Scions, the things that can just like get in their face, you can't stop them from getting into your face. And Ash just has a hard time dealing with them
Can't stop
damage
them.
wise. It's yeah, basically. So
yeah, I hear you.
um
Okay. One more
yeah.
clip before game two.
Yeah.
41-40
Okay,
in
good.
Oh,
the
this
YouTube
was gonna be
video.
good.
I think it kind of just summarizes the how the game
Well,
felt.
well,
Uh,
someone's dying an honorable death here.
Game's
It's
over by
winnable.
here, right?
It's winnable.
We're
I
down, I
mean,
think, like 15K.
it's
It's
winnable.
lit.
It's winnable. I'm in the comms right now telling you guys it's winnable.
Yeah, here, let me clear the
Oh.
wave, right? Take a little recall. Boom. Ash Arrow, Nocturne ult, Xerath ult. I'm
Dude,
like, okay.
what is it on Goose? I hope you like XD'd in the chat because that's that type of moment, bro. What the hell?
I was having a laugh about it. I mean, that's all you could do there. I thought it was
That's
good.
that
It felt
is
personal.
like Joe, that looked personal. Like I didn't see this clip. That
Someone
looked
said this.
flippin' personal.
Someone said we were talking about this guy being MVP, so they're like, kill him under the
Get him.
turret, dude.
We
Reset
cannot
for
let this
Baron
guy pop
tempo?
off.
No, we can kill the 0-6 karma one more time.
While we're doing Baron, by the way.
Brutal. It's so brutal.
Oh man.
You had a better game too, so we can forget about game one, right? It didn't even happen.
Could it have gotten much
Exactly
worse
that.
after that clip?
Honestly. This game is a little bit closer though, I will say. Looks like they drafted a Jinx comp. I don't understand why people aren't picking more and more Jinx. It's so like Jinx seems to be so strong. I don't get it. Like maybe game one not picking her I get, but after that I feel like she's free reign. This champion like just give her some peel and just give her something that can help her reset and she feels really strong. So I'm glad that other teams are starting to pick up on that. You guys tried the Twitch again, I see, which Tango had success on again. I don't think he looks like he played bad. 6-5-3 is a pretty good scoreline. But the Yone pick doesn't look like it had much success. Well, how did Sam Lad feel playing that champion? Every time I see it, I feel like it's not strong anymore.
I think we're doing a little bit of what some may say happy gaming. I think you got to find a way to reset the mentals after a tough loss. So, yeah, we had some fun with draft. Sam Ladd, I think, traditionally plays control mages. It's what works well for our team. Not to say he can't play this other stuff.
Of course.
But we decided, hey, let's go for the Yone. I think it's an okay pick here. I want to say we picked it on 3, but not too relevant. Either way, in the early game here, you can rewind like 20 seconds actually. I think bot lane played pretty well. This Tangofish had a great series. Game 1, I think that lane was mostly on me. And game 2, we were winning bot. Just struggles elsewhere in the map kind of caused issues here. So want to shout out Toji here. I don't know if this was intentional. He blocked the Shen Q with the shield. Yes, we didn't know that was possible. We found out that interaction live because I think this is Leeds maybe 3rd or 4th time playing Shen. And that definitely turned that skirmish, which would have been a great chance for us to snowball. Would have been a chance to double scuttle, maybe get a kill or at the very least get out alive. But instead, Toji on the Braum coming in. I'll call it intentional, right? It was great use of the shield, and it lets Akaza stay on the map, catch back up a little bit on farm. We lose a little bit of tempo bot lane. Arthidius gets started with 1 kill, and I think that's what helped start the snowball for him through the rest of the game. He had himself a pretty great series. I know there was some talk in chat over some Arthidius slander. Everything I've seen out of this guy has been pretty smooth, but that skirmish was huge for Hidden Leaf and really kicked things off mid lane in terms of snowballing. So despite the fact that our bot lane and our top lane were doing all right, that play I think was definitely a bit of a burner to us.
Yeah, I mean, not much you can do. Honestly, at that point, it's just jungle gap is what Sam Lad should be spamming in the chat because
right,
feeding the RE gold. But yeah, I mean, that's a crazy interaction, and I'm shook by that, and I'm my brain is broken right now because I'm trying to figure out how that works. Honestly.
Yeah. But it's not like you lose games off of that one interaction, right?
No, it's just kind of crazy. Like it's just one of those random things like you're just not expecting. So now like my brain's trying to wrap around it how Shen's Q works now. Like that's actually what I'm trying to figure out. Like how does his Q actually work? How is this coded?
Like to me, that sounds like it's coded like Orianna Ball.
Is that what it
wind
is?
walls,
okay.
Yeah, wind walls will stop Orianna's ball from moving further. It just kind of drops dead.
Then should Yasuo wind wall block Shen Q? Like,
yeah, if it blocks the Orianna ball movement,
right?
then Shen Q is coded like Orianna ball is what I'm getting at.
Should
it? I don't think so, but I've got a lot of opinions on Yasuo wind wall.
Does Melda reflect Shen Q?
Oh my god, we're getting wild.
No, well, Mel W just stops Ori Ball, stops Shen Q then, right where she's at. It just doesn't pass through. So I don't look if we're gonna get into.
What if we're like all completely wrong and it only works with Braum wall? By the way, just think about that.
Toji knew, so it worked.
Homie knew. I don't know. that is my theory. Is Shen-Q, or at least the sword placement, is coded like Oriana Ball, because I know uh, Mel can like stop it from passing through. She can't stop the W damage afterwards now that it's a shield instead of the invulnerability. But
Yeah.
yeah, what's this Varus top doing on my screen, by the way?
Yeah, I was ignoring it, but Varys Top was a thing for a while.
I
So
I'm not ignoring it. Homie's here. He's gonna answer this.
answer for your
I,
sins
I
real
mentioned
quick.
it. When you get down and out in a tough game like that, I step back and draft a little bit. Like, what do you guys want to play? Because for us, at the end of the day, it's all about having a good time. And I don't know if Gojo had a fantastic time. This is an interesting question. I kind of want to bring it up now just to start a loose discussion around it, because it was happening in our lobby and it didn't actually have any outcome on the game. But we are five the Varus, and as a kind of sign of respect or whatever, however you want to word it, we lay out our roles. It's Shen, jungle, Varus, top. Uh, and there was talk about, okay, we're gonna put hidden leaf. Let's put Mordekaiser mid, Ari top. That way, Gojo's not stuck in this range top matchup. And then in turn, I guess my theory was that because we're red side, we would then just swap it again and put Varus mid into the Mordekaiser and Yone into the Ari. Uh, I'm not saying a decision has to be made now, just something I kind of want to bring up because I know there's always rules issues in the server of some sort every year. And I think with how prevalent kind of champ picks are in a fearless environment, just something I want to bring to your guys' attention of like, is that handled appropriately where, red side can make an initial determination of where champs are going, and then blue
So
side just has to
I,
keep their
I have a
proposed
I have a
champs?
thought on this, but I'll let Harewood go
so
first.
first things first, because we did have a few things. It technically, and this kind of goes for completely moving forward. This should not even have changed in the first place. I know people are running normal drafts because we don't have the code. No normal drafts. Like I've been in games where I've noticed it too, and once you're in, you're just like whatever with it. But like realistically, it should be tournament drafts every time. Number one, so that'll solve some of the issues with like where things are going because everybody will be in order and you'll be able to see like, oh well, obviously this guy is going jungle because the jungler is in this, the second slot or whatever, right? The second part of it is I have no problem with people swapping things around a bit. Like I understand that because the whole point of flex picks anyways. I'm not saying that all these are flex picks, but I'm just saying like there can be room for certain things and certain changes based around if maybe like a player is feeling kind of spicy and is like, well, I'm top laner, but I can play um, Ari, for example. I don't mind if you want to swap this, and then Arthur is like, well, screw it, I'll do Mordekaiser into Yone. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
so I I don't know what that would look like in the future though for like if you guys swap first and then they're like, oh, well, now we need to swap. What's the amount of time on that would be like the real thing? And since we don't have a rule for that right now, I guess you could swap up to the last second, but it should be tournament draft where once the champ select is done that you know where everything's going and you're not questioning it. You know, so you can like make sure you can switch your runes and stuff around that.
So,
So go.
uh, my thought is kind of similar, just approached a little different. Uh, I know for a fact we had at one point when I first started playing back in '03, there was a rule about no lane swaps, and then obviously Riot is killed that last season, and then with the quest now they didn't kill it, but the quest essentially do kill it. I personally, this is my personal take, and I know it's going to be a wave of discussion before we split because I do think we need to implement something there. You can lane swap, and I don't think there's a rule in there against it. But I think where I draw the line at, again, is my personal take, is if you swap the role quest. If they wanted to play Ari top in the Varus, I would have been like if I was in the lobby, I'd have said like, okay, that's fine, but Ari still has to take the mid lane quest. That because you're inting your quest at that point, and that to me qualifies as a role swap. I don't know if this is a shared opinion. It hasn't really been a discussion up until recently, because we had 2 other instances where the drafts had to be tournament drafts, and they were going to go blind pick on drafts, but because of the April Fool's event, if you go blind pick, those show up in custom blind picks, which I didn't know about either. So tournament draft definitely takes care of the kind of question of who goes where. Do we need to discuss in the future of like, hey, you've got up until 10, 20 seconds in the draft to select your roles so you can ruin and set up against it? I think definitely some type of expansion needs to happen there. But if you do want a lane swap, I think it's okay as long as you don't swap the role quest, because then to me that's a role swap. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most amount of sense, and that's where you can draw the line. But
Yeah,
I know we've had that. It's been a discussion week 9, and probably going in the playoffs it'll show up again.
Yeah, it would have been like a champ swap, right? Like Sam Ladd would have taken Varus mid, but didn't mean to go on that long tangent. I know,
No, sorry.
Hidden Leaf
CLT.
and Moho Coalition, whoever's listening, probably want to focus on the games. Either way, it didn't matter, right? Gojo played pretty well into this Varus top, held his own, and then eventually picked up some solo kills, some 2v2 kills. Same thing with Arthidius, the Ahri into the Yone. I mean, Sam Ladd, I don't think the scoreline reflects just how the scoreline makes it look worse than it was, but reality is this Yone was 0-8. This Ahri, 7-1 at this time. So they played really well. Similar story to game 1. They just got off to a good lead, and we had an okay angle to fight back here. I think we did an okay job of catching them out on some side lane plays. But after that, I want to say they just locked in, and by that time their lead, was pretty insurmountable. You have this Jinx comp, you have this very strong top side that Hidden Leaf can play through so well. Toji at the front line on the Braum. So, this fight looked good for us. We were able to get some good chase downs. And then after that, I may have gotten a little overzealous as well with looking for some fights. And Hidden Leaf just kind of shut that door again and took a pretty dominating 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, all respects to them, and you're right. The tangent might have been a little bit there, but sometimes tangents are just needed, I guess, for conversation. I don't know, but it's all right.
I know you're tired. We can get to the next series.
No, I didn't really like that. I was just trying to meme a bit on CLT because I know he likes to go on his tangents a lot.
I told you, cut me off, mute me.
Says
I won't take it personal.
No, it's important discussions.
One day I'm just gonna be like, dude, get the fuck off my goddamn screen.
I'm waiting for one day I tune in to a Premier Midwest Weekly, and then halfway through the tangent or the rant, you just mute me, and you're like, okay, we're gonna go.
CLT at 10% volume for half the show.
Well, why
10%
not
is
just
not
start
enough.
now? I mean, honestly, let's just
Shut up.
We need to hear what he has to say. Come on now.
You know what? This is probably the best thing about the entire game right here on my screen. I don't even know what happened. I got a meme. I have no idea what happened.
I know what happened, by the way.
Oh no, this game doesn't even look that bad.
Hey,
Wait.
tangent away, CLT. Tangent away. What happened?
It doesn't even look
So-
bad. That's all I'm gonna say.
I remember getting a ping on my phone about something going on, and War pinged everybody. His support started a ranked game 5 or 10 minutes before the start of the series, and then after they went through draft, they said, hey, Threshold Days in a game, they're planning on losing a ban game 2, and then next thing you know, I heard they did draft pick, loaded into the game, and the April Fool's stuff was there. So 45 minutes after the draft, the game finally started. So lead being, our genius goated caster from this split, he's been a big help. He just decided to play chess on stream.
When I click on this,
Turns out
What
that
a
was
guy.
the most entertaining part of the stream.
indeed. Well, well.
Who won the chess
So-
game?
Seriously,
damned. Who won the chess
We already
game?
know who won the league game. We don't care about that. Who won the chess game, please?
I
Oh my
actually,
gosh.
I
Being
don't.
taken instantly? I think I know who won the chess game. Okay, we can get to the series.
This is a review on the chess game, actually, guys. Just so you know, we're transitioning out
Uh,
of LOL Midwest Esports to LOL Midwest Chess Sports. It'll be starting
CLT,
April
break down
30th.
that pawn to D5 take.
Oh,
for
you
me.
do not want no. I
I-
am way too dumb for
Oh
this
wait,
game.
pause here. It's gonna be a fork. Oh my goodness.
Dude, I think I've watched better chess on Harry Potter, man. Holy moly.
I think so too. Whoever's
You know
white,
what?
I mean,
You, you, you know what? I want to see lead versus -2 coins in chess right now, because I know Minus in between game lobbies will play chess, and he swears he's goaded, but I think Minus is like so dumb.
Okay, I'm
So
clicking off
I
the
want to
chess.
see this,
Clicking
and it
off the
looks
chess.
like
Oh, we're
white won.
paused. We're paused. Wait, what happened? Oh, this was
white
that?
won?
Nobody won. GG's.
No, dude,
What
I'm
is
telling you,
This is when I tuned in and I was like, what is going on?
it wasn't.
Hey, props to Leche and Seth though. They kept it entertaining for an hour.
Well, they tried their best.
Okay,
It was
here's-
1 hour into the stream that the game finally
I'm
started.
honestly glad you didn't cut anything from the Twitch though. This is such a meme.
No,
Bro. Really.
no. They kept the crowd
Okay,
entertained
you know
for
what?
an hour. I
You
wouldn't
know
let
what?
the
Dude,
disrespect
we've
him like
talked enough
that.
about this
He's
game.
like, we're
I'll
just gonna go to this.
So yeah. Anyways, what a great game one out of Stun Incarnate. They really took him to task. That movement there on the pawn was insane. And so now we're gonna talk about game two. Yeah. So here's game two. I guess I want to ignore it completely. Who is Grumpy Pants, by the way? Who's that guy?
He's a sub.
Obviously, I don't know if anyone knew that guy. He was probably grumpy because of the chess. Jasper
True.
also came in here. Jasper J12. Both of them look like they had nice little game ones, filling in here, so that's nice. Sun Incarnate's been great, all split. So I'm not really surprised that even with subs they just can put things together. How do we feel about IBP? Like playing with the normal roster, playing the video game now. Like,
No,
you know-
Zelda was a sub.
Oh, you're right. My bad. Never mind. But how do we feel? Like we've seen their roles, playing in their main roles a couple weeks now. How do we feel? Do we think IBP is figuring it out, or is it too late?
Considering they've got a sub for the playing series, yeah.
Too late. Okay, GG, got it.
You know, I think when I look at IBP, they really need an Anivia player. That's
Oh,
I think
no.
gonna fix all their problems.
Is that their sub?
But
Is it an Anivia player?
it is. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
Anivia player.
You know what? I'm done with that game one, dude. Listen, we're gonna actually just talk
No,
about game two.
we could
Wait.
talk game.
Wait,
I think
this guy-
IBP.
wait.
Spoil it.
He picked Lilia, by the way. Who plays that champion? Okay. And
yeah, what's your
Fiddlesticks. What is this?
Lilia
What is
versus
this?
Fiddle.
What is happening, bro? Since
Elkaz
when-
versus Vagar in the mid lane.
I
Okay,
guess.
wait. I've known Zelda for a few years now. He does play
yeah.
the Vel'Koz.
No,
Like
he's
that.
good.
That part's exactly like normal.
I'm just shook. There's all these meta champions, right? And then like you load into an IBP game and you just never know. But it's even funnier because now it's coming from Stun Incarnate. It's like, you're our sub. You can play what you want. You want Lilia?
Yep.
I think Lilia is pretty bad right now. Just play it. like,
Getting buff next patch though.
oh, is it? Oh God. Hope it doesn't.
Might
do
actually
it.
have to play it.
No, I think speaking to your point, Incarnate, like those three members, Bard, Spirit Tracks, and Jacob, just so consistent that you can plug in these subs and they don't even necessarily look like subs. I think Jasper had a bit of a rough game one, but nothing the rest of the team couldn't pick up for. And they look like the top team taking care of business. This is exactly how the matchup on paper should have looked.
Yeah.
IBP, I do think overall the switch back to normal roles is a good call. I think I haven't seen a super great series out of War yet, and that's something I'm going to be looking for as we go towards play-ins. The bot lane has looked okay. Crackly Race and Thresh all day. They had a pretty decent game too into this Nami Corki, and I rate Bard and Spirit pretty highly, especially in lane. So I thought they held their own well. And Flame Dog, I think, is actually just a really solid player. Wacky picks. I know he pulls out the Zeri jungle as well, but relatively, like, he can hold his own, usually despite the fact that he is losing lanes, find a way to make an impact, stay in the game in terms of farm, and maybe give his team a chance in some of the early fights. It just hasn't quite converted into wins yet. So too late? I don't know, but I think it's well-intentioned switch, and I'm excited to see how it clicks in this best of 5 environment, especially because the posse is known for the wacky picks.
Yeah, I agree with the Flame Dog take too. But it's their first split. We actually played against them, and he played Darius Jungle against me. It wasn't like too hard to play against, I will say, but it was a surprise, and it was fun to play against. And he was good at it. Like that wasn't a problem. We won the series, but it wasn't no fault of his own by any means. He's certainly a very good player. If you give him the proper tools. I think he's had a lot of fun this season. I know that a lot of what this wacky stuff was actually because of him. He wanted to do some Mimi switching roles thing that was like kind of his idea from talking to War. But even with that said, I am glad they're gonna try at least. Just give it a shot. It does make for better like viewership. No, what's the word I'm looking for? If you're watching the game, it's better like to watch the game. I don't know the word I'm
Yeah,
looking for.
viewing experience.
Yes, thank you. Viewing experience.
Perfect.
So if you're a fan, I think you're gonna enjoy more. And I truly hope, and we'll talk about their series in a bit here coming up, but I do obviously hope that whatever happens, they can make a series out of it. I'm not saying they can't win. I just know it's still Femboys. We still know what they're capable of. They are back-to-back champions. So I just hope it ends up being a good series to watch.
Nah, they're gonna win.
All right, cool. You're talking about IBP, obviously, right?
Yes.
Okay, just clarifying. Okay.
Mm.
I think Coin Flip's gonna win, actually.
You think Coach gonna win?
Yeah. They win every time because it's always a 50-50, no?
It's
That
true.
checks out.
Yeah. Well, we'll move on to the last series, guys. Sorry, IBP and Incarnate, we're having a little fun over here, but we're also trying to sprint through the series. This one we will try not to sprint through. It's a little hard to sprint through when you can't even see it. Why is this one so small compared to the rest? Rusty, what are you doing, dude? Seriously, like, look, like I don't even understand. Okay, let me switch over. I will let our lovely guest Nexus be the lead on this first game, man. I want to hear your thoughts on game one.
Oh, sure. Well, first off, I think I'm a sucker for storylines, so you got to kick it off with that, right? This is, in terms of seeding, really the game that mattered most in this week 9. And coming in, Scorch had to 2-0. It had to be a 2-0 for them to secure the 4th seed. Just nature of how tiebreakers work. That puts them even with Femboys in terms of match record. It puts them even with Femboys in terms of game record, and it would put them above Femboys in the head-to-head. So that's how tight it was. This very thin margin for Scorch, and they delivered. So game 1, if we are going in a little more depth, I think you have to start with draft, right? On the side of Scorch, it's a great draft. You have this Jinx comp. We talked about liking the Jinx, but the story, as I think it typically is for Scorch, is Rusty Crow and Bananasaur. This mid jungle 2v2 got off so well. They directed 5 bans towards mid. So, maybe that was a part of it, but Rurica really never off the ground in this Vlad. Mumu and Mel just snowballing like crazy. And then I know CLT, you probably got some thoughts on the other side's draft with Warren God's Nidalee top.
Bro, what are we doing with this Nidalee top? Oh my god. It's so memey. Like this is the Timu like reject little cousin in the corner no one plays with version of Vayne top. Like get it I don't like this, as you can tell. Sure, you stack grasp stacks, you have some kill pressure if they try to get aggressive with you. It's got that Singe-esque quality where it's that clown, it's that balloon clown that you keep hitting and it stands back up, and it's got that little demonic laugh face on it, like, why are you hitting me? Hit me harder, please, type shit. But in a coordinated environment, this is a Heen comboed with the Amumu. Jinx, if she gets off the ground, or even Mel, can blow up this Nidalee if she ever gets touched with a single piece of CC. Toppled that with the Mbessa that's going lethality. It's just, there's no front line. There's nothing. The Amumu CCs, everybody. Like, who in this team comp is going to absorb an Amumu Q? Like, who's saying, yeah, I'll tank this one for the team?
Well,
Nobody.
Sivir could tank it with her spell shield, but Amumu's still coming for the ride.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually saw that
that
happen a few
it's
times.
yeah. Thanks for making my point. This
you,
is
you asked who could
awful.
tank it, not like what the repercussions would be. So
Oh, I've had moments even in scrims where they're just like, "Why are you in the front line?" And I'm like, "I'm trolling, but I'm absorbing cooldowns." Yeah, sure, okay. That's side note of I'm just bad, but
my bad.
I absolutely hate this Nidalee. I can't stand it. Get it off my screen, please.
Yeah, I'm here for Nexus's take on it, just because I know he said it's a counter, so I'm ready to hear out why
Wait,
it's a counter.
seriously?
That's what Nexus
Yeah,
said.
in defense, Zehen is a really weak laner, right? And I'm not the top lane expert, but just general kind of lane knowledge. Nidalee wins into pretty much everything. You go grasp, and if you play it right, you can get these procs and keep yourself sustained up. And you can see it, right now, early on, 27-16, just 4 minutes in. It's a great lead for the Nidalee. The problem is, out of isolation, looking at the team comp as a whole, this Nidalee cannot accomplish much. You don't have great setup. I like Nidalee comps. You have to look at IG, right? Like the Shy and his Nidalee top. This Nidalee kind of needs to operate on an island and play the split push game. And I don't think they did that well. I think a lot of Femboy's game plan is through just Inferno camping top and playing through a dominant top side. And then what's the name? Rangod? Wargod? Noah? Whatever it was. It's
Muted.
him. Yeah. It's him taking this like bruiser pick with a lead and transferring that to the rest of the team through mid game, through late game. So Moon Prince and Ashes and Miraca can all get online and carry team fights. Nidalee doesn't do that. She wants to play side lane all game, play in and out of fights. And I think it's just so tough to execute that despite the fact that the lead was there, I think you need a lot more reliable picks and team fighting potential elsewhere on the map that they just didn't have, right? So whether that was maybe a tank support for Ashes or something with a little more beefiness from Inferno, it just didn't work as a team pick. In isolation, I get it, but I think they maybe got a little ahead of themselves in zoning in on this counter pick.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I don't like about this game, honestly, is there's no synergy on the whole team. To be honest, like
Mm-hmm.
you have a CC-less jungler, barring her ult, and I know there's other junglers similar to that, but usually they still have something in their kit that's even just a soft CC. Like think about Malphite now being a jungler. He still has his Q that slows at least when he like comes in for a gank. Think about Nocturne. He still has his E fear, though it's not as reliable. It still exists. Like certain champions that are not really like known for like hard CC level 1 through like 4 ganking if they want to get really crazy, like level 1 meme gank, but they don't have a lot of tools there. Um, but with this pick here, like she's lacking that straight up. There's nothing there, and then the rest of the team doesn't have CC. Yeah, you have Nami Bubble and Wave. Like that's your that. So really, if you want to gank a lane, you actually want to gank bot lane because of that. You know, it's in a mobile top, I guess. You could kind of, not really. It has a dash, so I don't know. Yeah,
This play didn't help either.
yeah. I'm sure whatever's about to happen. Oh, it's good. It was a good play. What do you mean?
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking of there was a dive they botched.
Oh, they
Excuse me.
botched. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, so that's my biggest thing. I think if you're gonna draft something like an Ambassador Jungle, you need to draft CC in probably side lanes. You could probably get away with
Mhm.
the Vlad mid here, but you probably want CC top or CC bot, and you want reliable CC. Or at least if you want to run the Nami, you still need CC top. So my point is, you still just need it somewhere else. Um, Otherwise, you want to run Italy top. I think you need CC out of the jungle. Like I don't know what you want to pick, but there's tons of things out there. So have fun with it. I guess at that point, play
No, they were
Pantheon.
having fun.
Yeah, actually, play Vi. Vi would be disgusting
Yeah.
here. Like what Vi
Mm,
plus Italy sounds great. Like what
yeah.
spheres for free off ulti.
Yep. I mean, even if it's like a Talia mid where you can put something down to slow and manipulate the battle a little bit.
Yeah. But
It's okay, but yeah, there's just nothing attacking this Mel Jinx.
yeah. Even with that said, though, like Scorch came to play though. They didn't mess around. I agree that
Yeah.
Rusty played well, and I think the team isn't just directly through Rusty Bananasaur, like you kind of said, Nexus. I think it's kind of a mixture of things from game to game, to be honest, this split. Rusty's had great moments, but then there's been times where like Ares has had an insane series, and there's
Hmm.
been times where I think the bot lane has performed extremely well. So I think it kind of just runs through whoever at the moment. Like there's just a nice functioning five parts currently on Scorch. I would make an argument that they're playing probably their best of the Legends almost ever. Almost, I think they're still the split they
Since the
made.
departure of Tim, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, since their run to finals a couple years ago, so they're definitely looking elite, and I think they earned their fourth seed spot, and hopefully they can continue to turn that as they get in the playoffs. Uh, but yeah, what else kind of like happened in this game? Is there anything else in particular that kind of comes to mind from you two that, um, whether it broke the game or just something in particular you want to talk about?
I
Uh, I think we kind of touched on it already, but the game wasn't out of reach by any means for Femboys. But once the game got into that team fight stage, you know, look at the left side of your screen and then look at the right side of your screen. Nameplates off. I'm taking, regardless of who's on either team, red side just has such a stronger team fight. Once it got late and Femboys didn't have a lead, Rusty Crow and Bananasaur found some great engages. Boonstra was there, keeping themselves pretty safe in the back line against what can be a pretty potent dive of Vladimir and Bessa in Italy. And so the team fights really made the difference once we got, much later in the game. I know we're kind of getting there now. Ares keeping themselves alive as well. And I think Scorch, if you get them
There's a
into
timestamp.
the later stages of the game, they are so like airtight just in terms of their late game macro. I think I'll just put it out there. I think they're the best macro team in the league. Once you get a lead or just in terms of sticking around games, they find a way to make that happen. And so with the lead they had, they hold on to that. They stack dragons. They find these team fights, and it wasn't any break open moment to me. It was just bit by bit winning these team fights and eventually turning that into a Nexus explosion.
Yeah, you did explode for sure.
Lost my mind. Yeah. Boom. Scorch
uh,
2-0. Damn.
yeah, yeah, no, 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 and we'll get to the 2-0 part of it now. Um, yeah, I mean, here looking at this game too, and I'll definitely let CLT kind of take over this game too here in a second. I'd like to hear his thoughts. Uh, but yeah, nothing too insane with these comps. I think these comps are relatively normal. Don't see a lot of Jace top much anymore, but I think it's a fine pick. It's still just Jace. Um, but some really good games out of both Bananasaur and Boonstra. BB out here popping off. 10-4, 11, and 10-2 and 3. Really nice to see from them. Rusty having a nice 5-1 and 10 game on the Jinzao. I think Jinzao is still got to easily be a top 3 jungler. So the fact that he made it to game 2 is interesting to me. Um, but Rusty does love the champion at the moment. Uh, but yeah, CLT, what is your kind of takes? Anything you'd like to start with game 2?
uh, I love this kind of combo of the topside combo of like Camille, Lissandra plus like X jungler, as long as that jungler's not like super scaly, because there's just a lot of like direct lockdown, but also like indirect CC. Like they just create a lot of hectic in here. I'm a big fan of the Lissandra pick in general. I think she's kind of slept on, but she is a little bit selective. Um, I was actually happy going back to a previous series to watch like Zenmo pull it out against Ari, because I think it's actually pretty good in the Ari. But it you have to play towards this pick, especially on the jungle side. And I think the duo of Rusty and Banana, who is kind of the heart and soul of Scorch, I think this is a very nice pickup and something that they can like give playoff teams a worry, because Banana played it well, and um, Rusty has been absolutely fantastic this whole year, especially on the Zen Zhaos and those fightery type of picks. So That kind of stood out in the draft. Then the combo that with MF Seraphine. I know that's not a duo. At least I've seen a lot. Maybe Nexus kind of comment on that, but I think this is just Scorch won this game playing their game. They don't stretch out of the norm too much, and they don't really mess up drafts like they have before. So sometimes I think they cook too much, but they're coming into their own, and I think this is the best Scorch has been playing, but they don't ask for too much out of their comps. They keep it simple, they keep it very easy, and just nobody really like turbo loses on the map, especially in the early game. So those picks did stand out. I'm still not a fan of Aatrox jungle. Maybe Herwick, you have a different opinion being the resident jungle, but I Jace jungle, Aatrox jungle, don't like it. Uh, Jace top, okay, cool. You just gave Camille and Lissandra cannon fodder later. I don't know what Femboys is doing. Again, a draft with limited to no CC and no front line to absorb the punch.
Yeah, I mean, never like harping too much on draft, but there is so much to talk about here. To address your point of the Seraphine MF, this is what we didn't touch on in the Ash Seraphine tangent. That was a shorter tangent, but one simple way to get around it is to take one away. So I think Ash was picked on R2, and then Seraphine was picked on B2. So you break that up, uh, and it worked. You give yourself a good team fight combo. The other part of draft, and again, not to harp on it too much, and Hairways want to hear your thoughts for sure on the Aatrox jungle, maybe even the Jace jungle, but I think Femboy is overcooked here. Uh, you had the Aatrox pick early, that serves as a flex pick, and then the Jace came in on 4 after a Camille was picked on 3. I know the Femboy's top laner plays Renekton, it ran over us, and so that's a scenario where you go for that super counter pick, this Renekton into Camille. That's a great matchup for Renekton. So I'm kind of wondering why they didn't take that. It was open. And then you took Syndra on 5 as well. I don't know if it was this like super flex idea where you have Aatrox and Jace. They could go in 2, 3 different lanes each. And then you may be overcooked a bit. But CLT said no CC. And unless this Aatrox jungle, went nuclear with 10 kills or something, you don't really have any reliable front line either. So not a fan of the Femboys draft. I think Scorch got the better of them there, and then transition it well in the game.
I actually a couple things. So Jason and Aatrox Jungle are actually both pretty good. It just depends on when you're picking them. I think Aatrox Jungle here is not bad. Syndra CC is great, so there's actually really good gankable lane for the Aatrox. It's just kind of annoying that it's into Lissandra, unfortunately. There's still ways to play around that, but she does have her little freaking runaway tool. um,
Oh,
I think I'd just rather not see Karma this game. I even can deal with a Jace. I don't want to see
Hmm.
Karma. Like, just give me a good Giga frontline pick here, and I think Femboy's comp is like good, like solid, because now Aatrox has got two pretty good gankable lanes, pre six, because that's really what the ganking comes down to a lot of times. What is the ganking setup pre six? Because you want options on a jungler. You don't want to be like I have to just go top and that's it, or I have to just go by like you want to make your laners feel nervous, right? On the not yours, but like the enemy laners. And now you do that as reliable CC coming out of possible two players. Like that makes you go like, oh crap! Like there's a Syndra EQ, and then I'm gonna get knocked up with an Aatrox. Q or something like that. That makes you feel a little nervous. Like if you're gonna get CC chain more than likely and die if it happens. Um, so I would like to see something like that, and just frontline in general, I think is good. Otherwise, though, I don't actually have as much problems with Thumboy's comp this time around as they probably would game one. Um,
Hmm.
and I do think the versatility of trying stuff like the Aatrox jungle is good from Femboys, as no one really else plays it in the league. I haven't seen a single other jungler pick it up. Um, that could bode well as the split keeps continuing on. Well, with all that said, what was the gameplay wise for you guys? Anything like stuck out from Scorch? or Femboys?
I mean, to me,
Uh,
it was the same story as game one, where
yeah.
game's relatively even. Draft aside, Femboys can execute on these picks, and on the side lanes, especially holding their own, finding the little skirmishes. But when it came to the big team fights, there's just so many more tools on the side of Scorch, and I felt like they executed on them very well with all these AoE ultis. There were multiple very nice wombo combos from Calico and Boonstra, and you have the Lissandra as well diving in the back line. I think there was an early fight around Drake in about 4 minutes game time from here that will kind of show a glimpse into the power of Scorch team fighting. Uh, but yeah, the same story as game one. It's just the team fights were there for Scorch.
Yeah, fair enough. I will say the Jinzao pick could have been troll here for one reason and one reason alone. If he's not smart with his ult, like it could be misynergy for both Seraphine and MF, and that matters a lot actually. You don't really think about it till it happens in game and ruins a fight for you, but like you could just break an entire play if he just uses that crescent guard wrong. Because those champions want to clump things up, and he wants to create space. Like usually when you think of Jinzao, you think of like Jinzao with like champions like like a Sivir or I'm trying to think. ADC's the auto a lot, right? Like you want to create space for them. Maybe not Sivir's not the best, but you guys get where I'm going with this. Brain's a little slow right
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah.
not that it's bad with MF, not that it's bad with Seraphine. It's just it can be riskier if you're not on the same page as a team. Of course, it's not solo queue, so you're gonna have that. But that's my only really complaint with anything I was actually seeing here. But yeah, MF Seraphine great combo, and having that gameplay from I think Boonstra and Calico playing an extremely good split together, looking on point when they've had games, is helping a lot.
Yeah. I'm with both of you guys on this one.
Good, because if you weren't with me, I was gonna have to fire you.
Okay.
Fire him? You want to just lower his volume a little bit?
True,
Not
I
tell him?
forgot. I forgot.
It's probably lowered now, let's be honest.
Hey CLT, I
Yeah.
can't hear you,
A
buddy.
little quiet. Can you speak up?
Yeah, can you speak up, please?
I
Uh,
can.
but yeah, hats off to Scorch, man. I think this was one of their best series. All split just in terms of like really kind of just taking care of business. I did catch a little bit of both games at times. I was in the middle of like playing and watching, um, and yeah, I'm very impressed with them. And I think that's going to show here on the power rankings, which I want to get to real quick, so we can get to the rest of the episode, and then call it a day. Yeah, there it is, guys. There's the power rankings. Yeah, I moved Scorch up to that fourth spot, and it's funny because they're the fourth seed. I swear when I did these power rankings, guys, some reason they came out the exact same as the rank standings again. I didn't mean for that. That wasn't the plan.
No, no. You have I think Mythos is
Oh,
technically above Leaf in the standings,
Oh,
so
really? Oh, let me check. Oh,
that's a difference.
oh boom. Got him. Get him. Got him.
mhm.
Wrecked. Yes.
He
Wait,
puts thought into it.
I did.
he does.
I mean, I did put thought into it, you know.
I know. I'm giving
Yeah.
you a hard
But
time.
for anyone wondering, it's Incarnate at the 1, Hidden Leaf at the 2, Mythos at the 3, moving up a spot, Scorch also moving up 2 spots to the 4, Funboys dropping 2 to the 5, Mapogo dropping 1 to the 6, Small Brains, Insane Banana Posse, Torius, Thieving Raccoons, Vancouver, not moving a single slot, so they can just enjoy their beds down there where they lay and haven't moved in like 3 or 4 weeks. Or maybe the whole split, who knows. But that's power rankings. It's not that hype this week, guys. But that's what they are. You guys got any takes about these?
You
No,
go
no.
first?
Let's bring the hype on these play-in
Uh, I'll,
matchups.
I'll give a little love to Scorch. I think they've been, I'd say, underrated pretty much all split, by myself included, and they've showed up 4th seed here. It's tough to argue with the rest, right? Because that's just how the standings shake out after a full split of every team playing every team. The one other argument is Hidden Leaf versus Mythos. I think it's maybe a bit easier to give the nod to Leaf just because we've seen them around in the league before and we know what they're capable of versus this kind of new commodity unknown. So another great power rankings list, and like CLT said, we can get to the hype stuff in terms of individual accolades.
I just want
and
you two to
talk.
shit talk each other. Let's go.
There's no shit talk. Yeah, so there's two series this week. We'll start with the IBP versus Femboy series, guys.
We can skip that one.
Oh, stop,
Nah,
stop.
and
That is such disrespect to the IBP boys. I always give a percentage for those that are new to watching the show when I do my predictions, and I'm gonna do that where I like what is the percentage of who kind of wins and why and all that. But before I get there, just kind of breaking down the two teams. From what I've known in San Banana Posse in the past, with everyone kind of playing on their roles, they're actually a pretty solid team. Um, I do think it's a lot like kind of what Nexus said earlier. I do think it's going to run a lot through Flame Dog. I think he's going to be that key element, and then it's going to be like, I agree with you. What is the version of War? If we get the version of War that played like the first two splits in Midwest, then that's it. That team's gonna team. They're gonna play some real good League of Legends. But if we get the War that's just been struggling, which things happen, you're not always at the top of your game, then I do think it's going to be a lot harder for Insane Banana Posse to upset Femboys. But I do think it's 100% for them to win. It is an upset. Like I think Femboys are 100% favored, and I'd be surprised if I pick against Femboys most of the rest of the split. I'd be really surprised if I do. Um, on Femboy side, it's just play your game. Like I think bot lane needs to improve a bit, and I think there's an opportunity for them to do so. Not that saying they've had a bad split, but I definitely think they've had a subpar split to their standards. I think Rurika needs to find his A game because he's showed up sometimes.
going up against a Titan in the mid lane
and
too.
then sometimes, and then sometimes he doesn't show up. CLT will gap him. So
100% win
Quote
rate
it.
against them.
Quote it. What's the timestamp, chat?
but no, like I do think that's important. So I think it's a get right series for them. But the other two players here, I think Wade Grod's had a pretty successful split. Yeah, a couple mistakes here and there in a couple series, but
Couple.
he's looked pretty good. Yeah, it's more than a couple. But you get what I'm saying. Everybody's made more than a couple, but I don't think he's been like the costly factor every single time for losses. I think it's been mostly a team thing. But I think Inferno's been the most consistent player on the team. So
Oh yeah.
it's definitely kind of a battle of the junglers a bit. But if I had to pick, like I said, I'd definitely say it's going to be Femboys. And I'm going to say something like, I'm going to say one of my biggest I think I've ever given. Because then it'll make the upset even more hype if it happens. I'm going to say 70. I'm going to say 75-25. I don't think I've ever said that in the show. Ever.
Hmm.
Do you think IBP takes a game off Femboys? Let's be honest.
I think they can.
I do.
I think they absolutely can. Honestly, I say 75-25 more because I think no matter what Femboys in my head will win, but I could still see it being a 3-1. I could see them sneaking a game. Like War does some weird crap that they don't expect, or Flame pulls out the
Show
most
me
ridiculous...
Nautilus top.
Well, they'll
Oh,
expect
don't
that.
tempt him.
I don't know. Maybe he pulls out the Zeri and it finally works. Like I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna put it past them to just sneak a game in there. And also the fact that like Femboys hasn't played perfect all split, so maybe they just don't play a game basically. Like Rurika's just getting solo killed by a silver player or something. I don't know.
I'm not silver.
Silver.
Fucker.
Whoa.
Hold up. I'm
I'm
putting some work.
I'm definitely memeing about like 2 or 3.
Hey, is someone
back.
talking?
Oh. Oh, you're okay. The ice wall mid. Yeah, we'll post that clip somewhere. Yeah, no.
And
Homie
everybody,
got
we're gonna
solo
post
killed
CLTs.
by.
We're gonna post all CLT's bad clips now too. Don't worry.
Oh, there's plenty of those. You can make a montage of that shit. Yeah, I mean, there's no secret now. Like I'm subbing mid for IBP. I've played a bit with those guys, and they are pretty cool people. Though I don't think I match the wackiness Noob brings in the mid lane, but I've got a 100% win rate against Rurika, so maybe.
Maybe.
We'll see.
There's
Yeah.
always a chance.
No. In all seriousness, I got much respect for the Femboy squad. I've done a lot of 1v1s against Rurika. We've talked a lot of game last couple splits, and he is a homie for sure. But he actually messaged me when he's seen the op.ggs. He's like, "Oh shit, now I gotta try." I'm like, "No, you don't." But I mean, it's gonna be a fun one for sure. I do think wackiness of IBP can make this interesting. I'm not gonna obviously give a score or any prediction being part of it, but now that they're all in their roles, they've had a couple weeks to do it. Crackler and Thresh all day, they play some solid league when they're in form, and there's some wackiness coming out of the top side of the map. So who knows? I'm gonna be along for the ride, and we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Yeah, I'll put a score to it. I don't mind getting flamed for whatever. I'll say 3-1 Femboys. Not too much to
All right.
add from Hairwiz, especially in the top side. I think that's obviously where the focus is going to be. Rengod, he's just like, I think he's one of the scariest players in the league. Like, mechanically, if he gets ahead, he can just do so much with it in terms of backline threat. And so that's where eyes will be. Inferno often plays through the top side for Femboys. Just be a matter, can IBP neutralize that? And then, touching on the bot lane a little bit, since that is the role I play, and I don't think you can fully discredit that. I think that's where IBP maybe can look to garner an advantage. Ashes and Moonprints, laning wise, from what I've seen, typically aren't the strongest. So maybe if you're IBP, you draft some stronger bot lanes, something that can fight, something that can scrap. Give Thresh all day, signature name champ, maybe make some plays off of that. If Flame Dog can get that solid, 245 Zeri jungle clear and really snowball, I see the world where they take a game, and I think it's very plausible to happen just due to the nature of how, I don't want to say flippy, but the
You
Femboys
can say
play
it.
style, to put it in league terms, it can be flippy. So if IBP catches them at the right angle, with a strong bot lane matchup, a neutralizing solo lanes, and Flame Dog manages to squeak out a lead, I'm giving them a game, and I'll take Femboys 3-1 in the series.
I do think if IBP takes game one, they'll probably put Inferno mid, and then I'm gonna shit my pants. Cause
You did fine, man.
I'm glad somebody got that one.
Shout out week 2.
What's your well, Harewood gave his prediction, so
Yeah, I think anything else to talk on that series before we get into the
No, I've got
the
nothing to
series
say.
we're all wanting to see.
Yeah.
No, we're not at this point. So yeah, there's another series. It's between Small Brains and Maple Go Coalition.
I'd be
being
ashamed if we
played-
didn't have representatives of the teams here.
being played Friday night. Unfortunately, it's sounding like Small Brains will be 2-subbing. There's a small chance they won't be, but more than likely they will. For sure, Fidsick will be out, so I know Prim is going to be playing improvised, and then more than likely Vic the Butcher will be out, and that will be, who knows, top lane. I'll be sending op.gg to you though soon, like maybe today.
No worries, man. I know there's a lot to figure out. Get some sleep first.
Havoc?
No, it will not be Havoc, unfortunately. It's probably going to
Oh.
be Big B
CLT?
Big B Tiger.
No, you didn't know. I want no part of that one.
I think you both are familiar with him, so.
Okay.
Who is it?
Big B. Tiger.
Oh, Big B.
Mhm.
Yeah, much love for Big B.
Yeah, we just kind of, we're getting scraps at this point. Making it work. But yeah, I mean, as far as my take on the series, obviously I have nothing but respect for Nexus. I think the team is obviously very good. I've said it all split. It's not. I'm just now saying this or anything. Beating them is a tall task. It was the first time we played them, and we didn't beat them. I think if it was 5v5 full rosters, I think it'd be a really great series. I'm a little iffy to say that now, but you never know. I mean, maybe when we get our subs together, they just come in and play a fantastic series. That would be awesome. And I'm not trying to discount the team because of it. That's not even what I'm saying. It's just you're always at a disadvantage if you have really any subs, but certainly more than one. So I definitely give the edge to Mapogo, probably something like a 60-40. I think the styles will come down to a lot of how much of a lead you guys can gain bot side if you guys can. That'll be very impactful because I think you and Tango are extremely good at once you have a lead, just kind of taking a game over. And similar with lead, I think he does the same thing. So that it's always a fun battle with him. Well, I've only played him once, but You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
I,
yeah,
I've seen him play, and somebody I like wanted to play against was a great time to do so. Um, I think Zemlad, we all kind of know that Zema. He's freaking really really good. I would give him definitely the slight edge there. And then top lane's just whoever knows. I just don't know anymore, bad. I'd love to see Vic versus Mr. Bufa again though. Maybe Vic can get his games in. We all can just pray.
yeah. I'm definitely hoping that happens. I mean, it was a really fun series. Was it in week 8 against each other? Went full distance, 3 games, as Poho Coalition games tend to do. So best of 5 will be a new environment for the team. I think you broke it down well. Part by part. It's tough to say with the subs, and I really want to see Vic the Butcher versus Mr. Bufa. I know Mr. Bufa liked playing that matchup. Vic the Butcher is a really solid top laner. He's got a few kind of niche picks that work really well, and I think he's such a rock. You can generally count on him to stay in the game and make an impact come those later team fights. Jungle, I think, is going to be if I were to highlight a role, that should be where you focus. You know, Obviously, I think it's no secrets to anyone. I also have a lot of respect for my fellow co-host here, Hair Wiz. Been putting on an absolute clinic all split long, and so I think it's no secret to anyone watching the show, and this is not at all leaking strategies. Going into the game, it's okay, how do we shut down Hairwiz? How do we make sure he doesn't take over the game? And a lot of that is going to come through lead. It's going to come through, can we get some bot lane advantages and maybe I can get on the map and roam? It's going to be a focus on mid lane. I think Zema got the better of Samlad in our first series. Completely fair to say. I think Zema favored as well. Samlad, shout out my boy though. He's been putting in some crazy work in solo queue over the past week. I don't know if the hidden leaf loss was out tilting to him, but he's got some games in, and so excited to see how that will match up into what I hold in Zema as one of the strongest laners in the whole league. I think he's just really reliable at finding these leads, finding solo kills. And whether that's you helping him along there, I don't know what it is. I think team fight wise, lanes aside, because I think it is a pretty even split down the line in terms of you know even advantages. Maybe mid lane favored for small brains, bot lane slightly favored to Poho Coalition, but then team fights are going to be really interesting to watch. I think Tango and Mono can play very much on a knife's edge sometimes. So that will be something to look forward to as we get into what are likely to be some tense late game fights, and then just some explosiveness everywhere else on the map. We love to scrap. You guys definitely match that in our series, and I'm looking to see. I'm fully expecting that to happen again.
Yeah, for sure. We'll just call it a 3-2, and we'll just say I call my team winning and you call your team winning.
Yeah, I mean, you
Yeah.
can't come on the show and not say you're gonna win, right?
Yeah.
Something's wrong with the mental. CLC, you gotta tell yourself you're gonna win, no matter what. It's just a frame of mind you have to be in. You have to trust your guys, trust yourself that is gonna be something that happens. Otherwise, you're just cycling, man. And so obviously, we're gonna be at odds with each other. I think that was a pretty good, respectful breakdown, but I'm expecting it to be a pretty close series, even with the subs. And I'm just hoping, we get some quality League of Legends out of it.
Yeah. I'm gonna call it the battle of the MVPs. How's that sound? And that's not because I'm
I'm
calling
gonna shut
myself
that
an
down.
MVP. I think Nexus is definitely a front runner, but I know that Gojo came on and talked about it. So we'll just call it Gojo's battle for the MVP between me and me and Nexus right
Uh,
now.
you
The
you can
Gojo
take
Blaze is
that.
going crazy. I'll
You
take
you
myself out
can
too.
you can take this one step further. I will call it the battle of MVP. I
Oh,
think
what CLT says goes.
I don't know about that. I'm not gonna break this tie just because I have nothing but the utmost respect for both teams. I've played against.
Boo.
Oh, you boo me all you want. We'll turn you down.
He's already he already turned
I.
him off.
Yeah, I don't have mod privileges in here. I've just
Yeah,
been talking to
look at
nothing.
that. Um, no, I'm not gonna break this tie. I do think this one has the potential to go to 4 or 5 games. It's definitely not gonna be a 3-0 on the side. I feel very comfortable saying that. I think your guys' breakdown is extremely accurate, which kind of leads me to believe that it's going to come down to drafts. I think uh, Herwick has been really good and really comfortable taking some like reserve picks, and I say that loosely because obviously like you're obviously goated at like the Lee Sin, which by the way I don't think Lee Sin gets played in this series. I think both teams have the respect of the other junglers. Not to let that through unless somebody has something specifically planned. Looking at both of you. Um, but I know Herwick has had some unique picks and has some more in the bag. We talked about the Zed earlier. We've seen him on the Malphite. Stuff that stands out that are not impactful until they are. And what I mean by that is they're slow paced, but they can be explosive. To where I think Lee definitely likes to get in and brawl. I think the mid 2v2 does go to favor of small brains, but I think if Sam Ladd gets even and he can grind out a lane against Zema, because I've been on the receiving end of Zema. He is one of the best laners I've ever played against, for sure. So no, all the respect there. So I do think it comes down to who drafts a comp that fits their style the best, or if they draft outside of their style, how they kind of execute it. Because I think Small Brains' style is a little bit wider, but we talked about you guys in the bot lane. I do think Tango and Nexus are the best bot lane in the league, and they have some picks down there as well. We talk about Nexus's Bard always getting banned. We talk, Tango shown off the Twitch. Mono does play on the nice edge, which sometimes gets him in trouble, but I've seen him also just absolutely go full Korean on team fights and pop off. So on stuff like the Kaisa on the Yunara. So I think it will be a 3-2. Again, not picking the winner, but I think both of you broke it down, which leads me to believe that it's going to be draft. If one team can get an advantage in draft, then I think that can definitely just kind of win the game.
So what you're
Just
telling
because.
me, CLT, since we're all confirming it's a 3-2, that I am for sure not getting any sleep, by the way.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
I'm leaving for my dad's Saturday morning around between 5 and 6 a.m. So
Oh.
No, you're IV dripping caffeine, my friend. That's not.
Hey, that's after the series, though.
and
So.
still, it's a 5-hour drive.
Oh my gosh. Rad.
Oh yeah, you're fucked. Get some
Thanks for
sleep
making it
during the
happen.
day and just run on that third shift schedule. I was third
Yeah.
shift for about 10 years, and
If I
you
can
just got to do it.
if I can finish work early enough, maybe I'll come home and take a nap before the series or something. We'll see.
I think so. And I think we've already confirmed that Leshe and Seth are casting this one.
Sweet.
So this is going to be amazing. I'll be around in case it goes deep. BO5s are obviously a different animal. I've never played on a BO5, so
my first
subbing in for IBP is going to be fun.
Yeah, our first, man. We're doing it. But yeah, with that said, I think we've covered the games. The last thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit MVP, All Stars, whatever. You'll have some fun with this. The stats are completed, so this gives us a lot of information. I don't think stats are everything, guys, but I do think they tell a story. So for some reason, Barbecue's played the most games. I don't know why, but he's the most games. I guess nobody touches that guy. 21, goated.
I'm right there. No.
Are you?
Oh,
you gotta filter it, I think.
Nexus.
Filtered by
okay, never
position
mind.
range.
There's more than my bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
We're all up there. A lot of names.
Okay. I'm tweaking.
That's 3 out of 5.
You're up there with 20. You're one lower.
I thought I had it filtered, by the way. I didn't realize it was filtered to player at the time. I'm tweaking.
And honestly, the 20 could just be because the games didn't go the distance. So
yeah, it's called getting 2-0'd. It's a couple times, maybe 4 in a row or something. Don't worry about it. But anyways,
Damn, okay.
let's. I told a couple teams that were asking because they wanted to see it filtered out. Kind of see you could see roll by roll. But we'll start kind of looking at the kills here. So Lysander finishing off with 175 kills, most in the league. He did die a lot for some reason. I don't know what he was doing there, but he did have a bunch of deaths.
He did play quite a few melee champions like Silas.
Okay, I mean, we could try to give him some credit there, I guess.
I'm trying.
Yeah, so he's the highest kill mid laner. And obviously you see Arthidius coming here at the number 2. But yeah, you can kind of see the top 10. Interestingly enough, or not interestingly enough, there isn't a support here, so that's actually not that interesting. We would not expect a support to have that many kills. Is every role actually besides support covered here though? Let's see. So mids, AD, top lane, jungles. Yeah, every role is covered besides support. Nexus, how do you feel about this? I think you need more
I mean,
kills.
He didn't
give
steal
yourself a
enough.
shout out too. Like Hairwiz, highest kill jungler in the league. Well, tied, I
Well,
guess.
Inferno technically has more at 131.
Inferno
Oh,
did
there,
not
there,
play
missed it.
jungle all of those games though.
That's
He was
true.
mid for a series, so doesn't count.
Oh, doesn't count. All right. Yeah, me and Wintech tied at 124. He has a little better average per game, but yeah, no, we are up there. We're doing it. Um, and then
But yeah,
Mr. Buffa being the highest kill top laner. Shout out to that
yeah,
guy.
that one's a bit of a shocker. I know you mentioned it. Stats don't tell everything, right? I think Mapoho Coalition games tend to be just bloody. That's how we play. That's how we scrap. And always nice to see some of your team, make it up towards the top of the leaderboards in some of the statistics. So shout out Tangofish, shout out Mr. Buffa. We'll see if we can carry that forward. Some success. I think it speaks to, at least for our team, just looking at the kills side of things. It maybe tells the story of some of your win cons. So that's why stats are always nice. Doesn't tell the whole story, but can kind of help you piece it together. And kills is a big part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, Also, I just want to give a quick shout out, real quick. But my boy Stanny down here almost broke the top 20. All right, so
Ooh.
good for him. Only played 16 games and still had almost 100 kills, considering he played 80 in top lane and played for Notorious Thieving Raccoon. So my goat, let's go.
Yeah, to make it that high on, a team that hasn't won a game
Yeah,
is that speaks volumes, right?
that's impressive.
Just because it is a team game, so showing some individual prowess there definitely deserves shout out.
I think when you look at this though, like there's definitely some people like if I were to look at like the top kills categories that you consider for all stars, for
Mhm.
sure. I'm not gonna go into who I think you should be all stars. That's too much of a conversation. But like definitely already here, like looking at this, you're like, all right, some of these guys would be like my top mid pick maybe, or my top jungle or top lane 80 or whatever pick, based around like the top 20 kills or whatever would make sense. Um, we had MVP conversations a bit already before too, and I'm gonna go through the rest of the stats. Don't worry, guys. But I do want to say I've come around on the Akaza take a little more as I obviously was a big proponent for him last split, and he won rightfully so. I still think the team has played really, really, really well as a whole, but I do understand a little bit more why the conversation about him being another like back-to-back MVP is there. I don't think he's my runner-up on that though. I still think I'm vibing with my boy Nexus up there. Is definitely one of those guys. Of course, he's got to win. I think winning is important. You have to make it to playoffs to be an MVP, in my opinion. But if he does that this weekend, then I think he definitely deserves your guys' support. Uh, and I've kind of talked a little bit about Dark Horse Inferno. I think a bit as well. So, but there's guys like Arthidius. I think Arthidius had a great split. I don't know. I like that guy too. I don't know if you guys have any takes in particular, but I just wanted to point a few people out that were kind of sticking in my mind. So, and I'm off the Lysander train. I'm sorry, you can't die 125 times and be the MVP. I just want to point that. It's not even hate. It's not even hate, bro. It's not even hate. It's just I don't know. You're that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm still on the Lysander train. I think
Alright,
he's had a
GLT's still on the
fantastic
train.
split. Yeah, I am. Lysander, Jacob train, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Nexus though. I mean, like, bro, you've had a fucking insane split. Looking at these actually.
I'm changing the stats you were talking about.
We're doing top deaths.
wait,
Oh
wait,
no!
wait. I go the other way. I go.
Shocker!
War,
The top
No,
three
War.
are IBP, by the way.
wait, War wanted to be. War wanted to be. He wanted to be. Like he literally told me he was going for this. I don't
Hey,
think
he
he
made it
was spritzing
happen.
on purpose, but he like definitely was.
Less than 1 KDA. I actually don't have seen it.
Let's go the other way actually. Let's ignore anybody that's
Actually, it's
played
gonna be the game split.
two. Well, we can ignore that.
129's jumping out.
Yeah.
Yeah, 16 games,
Yeah.
7 plus KDA.
Where's he at? I don't even know where he's at. Oh, down here.
Yeah, we got to go down a
Look.
little.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Oh, interesting question. Hanover boy, and
These two gotta get added.
because that was
in.
a
Yeah, we
Yeah.
username change,
So
right?
just
Okay.
for clarification, it's not going to change their stats too much, but they will change their stats a little bit. So they definitely do got to get changed a bit. So
Yeah.
it's not like a crazy difference, but yeah, I told Rusty, me and him are
I,
going to take care of that.
I'm lobbying for can't name change and no streamer mode for next
No
split,
streamer
by the
mode
way.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let's check out
But
assists though. I don't think anyone wants to see the deaths. It's kind of depressing. Uh,
Nexus top 3.
yeah, Barb.
Wait, that's
Ooh.
5 supports.
One,
Checks out.
2, 3. Yeah, 5 supports. Yeah, pretty clean.
And there's Hair
Then
Whiz.
Kaza.
Yeah, I actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't get giddy about most things. Being top 10 kills feels good, but I actually got giddy being the highest assist jungler and beating out Akaza by 1.
Actually, that is 8 supports in the top 10 for assist, and the other 2 is Hairwick and Rusty at jungle.
And Akaza, what are you doing, dude? Akaza's right there in front of your face.
Oh yeah, sorry. So 7 out of the top 10.
What a hater!
Bro, it's almost 1 a.m. All right, I'm running on fumes too. All right, just turn me down.
Yeah, turned down for what? Honestly. And Fid missed 2 series, by the way. I want to point that out for everybody. Fid missed 2 series. Fid, 100% in my
Oh.
head,
There.
would have broke 300, by the way.
easily.
Rexy at 16 games as well. Yeah, there's lower game counts that are still up there.
Yeah, Rexy probably would have had more as well. I think he missed 2 or 3 series as well. So, really good there. I think assists are. I think these 3 major stats, kills, assists, and deaths, are very important. They do tell like a lot of a story.
Oh, the deaths are.
The deaths are still important. They are important. Like, I mean, look,
Or-
Akaza only died 47 times. That's pretty freaking.
That's
good.
fucking insane, actually.
Yeah.
That might be the stat of the year.
It could be. It's close. I think even dying like 70 deaths or less is crazy. Like, I died 68. Maki died 63 as an 80 carry. Like, Wintex, another guy, like another jungler, 66. Like, there are some definite clean like death numbers. Okay.
Oh.
All right. 129, 34 is insane too, but a little less games. And honestly, like his stats are good, but it's definitely interesting why he only died 34 times. I'm kind of wonder what's going on there. Is he a KDA player?
Akaza averages less than 3 deaths a game in 20 games.
Yeah.
As a jungler who like typically is in there brawling with his team, actually insane.
Yeah, no, really good there. Really good there. We check out KDA. You can still see. I think you go probably based on like 15 games played or maybe 10 games or more when you're really looking at some of these stats. I don't think you can look at that and be like, well, this guy's got a 37. He's just the best.
Grumpy the Goat?
Grumpy the Goat. Grumpy the Goat. Hunty and Grumpy and Dokyu. What names? What names?
Yeah.
Obviously, 129 Akaza are going to be up there with really good KDAs.
Hairwick.
Yeah, me apparently. I'm there too. Nexus with a 4.75. Kind of clean. Kind of clean, dude. Kind of clean.
Thank you. It is surprising how many junglers we have up there, like top KDA, especially in what is like a skirmishy jungle meta. So you would typically expect more deaths.
Yeah, even
out
this
of that,
guy,
but
he's only played 5 games, but
guys
this
are
guy was
showing up.
jungling too. This guy jungled too, actually. So, and I wonder if this guy jungled. I think he did.
He did, yeah. That was our sub for a game.
Yeah, I see it. Look at that. So maybe there's something about junglers. I mean, junglers are stacked to split. I don't think it's even an argument on that.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
for sure.
You almost can't find a bad jungler on a team, and I'm trying to say that like I say that in a nice way, like. But obviously there was some junglers maybe that didn't play as well. But
1,000,000%. I wanted to, I was planning on jumping in and talking all stars, and that was like my number one takeaway was like jungle. You can put like 6
Anybody.
guys in the top 1 or 2 spot and make an argument. It is like so insanely stacked. It's probably the most stacked a singular role has been in this league's history. There's just so many good players.
I will absolutely fucking second that. At jungle, when it came down to all stars in the jungle, and I was actually thinking about MVPs, I'm like, out of my MVPs, I think I jotted down 6, and 4 of them were jungles. I'm like, holy shit! Like jungles is insane role this split.
I
100%.
think when you're looking, if you really wanted to like go in depth, finding players that like rank in the top 10 in like the 4 major stats, not ignoring CS. So CS, like I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty low on the CS. I did not farm enough, but I also had some quick games, so that's probably part of it too.
Yeah.
Whereas like Scorch had like a bunch of 40-minute games, so Rusty had like great farm numbers. Not saying that's Rusty can't farm. What I'm saying is like that's gonna help your farm numbers, right? Um, so I think those stats matter a lot because it usually tells a lot about like what a player is doing. If you're top 10 in all those stats, when I say top 10, I'm talking top 10 at least deaths for clarification, but everything else, um, like I think that would be the mark of somebody truly like being okay. Maybe that is just the guy for this role. Like as far as all stars go, that's how my head would go when it comes to voting. As far as MVP, there's more than just stats. I think you got to look at. I mean, of course, team winning, but not everything is about winning. I think you can, if you make playoffs and you don't have a winning record, you still shouldn't just be completely ignored for an MVP. Or if you make playoffs and you go through play-ins, you also shouldn't just be ignored. I think that matters. Top team doesn't always mean MVP, in my opinion. But so there's a lot I think people should dissect when it comes down to it all. I want to say there's no wrong choices, but that's never true. There is wrong choices, but I think there's 6 or 7 guys if I saw win the MVP this split, I'd be okay with it. And then there's some guys if I saw I might actually just be like annoyed, not because I think they're bad players, but because there's just way better candidates. Does that make sense?
100%. Yeah, I mean, we put out
Yeah.
you guys put out this show, this content to give people a summary of like what's going on in the season. And I know, you do your best not to influence, but you're one of the people who watch the most games. So if anyone listens to the show, you should be paying attention. I think especially this split, I really like the format because, like, from a voting perspective, you played against pretty much everyone in the league. And, granted, it was one time over. You may have gotten them on a bad day. You may have been on a bad day yourself. So always tough to, you know, set that as like an absolute quantifier of them. But almost every game has been streamed as well. So if you see one of those guys who doesn't fit the quota, and I'm kind of with you, maybe around 7 guys where yeah, that's a good MVP pick. If it's someone outside of those 7, respectfully, it's just an uneducated take, and want to see a little more involvement in terms of putting effort into actually researching or thinking through this vote, or I think it's okay to abstain as well if you feel like you're not properly informed to make
Yeah.
the vote.
And for more clarification, guys, I think that Rusty's putting something on the ballot, but you can't vote for your team. Like we don't do that.
Yep.
And I think I don't know if MVP is like that, but I know All Stars is like that. I truly think MVP should kind of be like that too, because I think all of us want
Yeah.
to vote our
Yeah.
teammates for that as well.
Yeah.
There was splits where I would have voted Zema 100% for MVP if I was allowed to do it, even though I even might have thought there was a better person for MVP. It was just because he was playing so phenomenally well, and he felt like the MVP of our team. But it's just wrong. It's just always a wrong thing to do. And then another thing is too, I really hope no one popularity contests. I hate when that happens, and you know what's going on when you see certain people pop up sometimes, and you're like, I don't want to be a dick, and I'm not gonna say nothing, but you think it internally, and you're like, come on, it's not about them being a bad player. It's about just giving people who deserve that honor. Don't just vote someone because they're your friend. That just doesn't make any sense. Like I'm friends with Nexus, but I mean there was a split. I think it was the last split or maybe the split before that. One of the splits you just weren't playing as well. I think the last split you played good. I think it was maybe the split before that. Like I wouldn't have voted you for All Stars then because maybe you weren't playing as well. And if I wasn't playing as well, I'd hope you do the same, right? Same with CLT. That's all it comes down to. But like Nexus is playing great this split, so I would vote for him for All Stars. I don't know if I'm going to. I gotta really review this because there's a lot of good supports this split. But it's just one of those things. I just hope we are as subjective as we can be, or objective. Did I say it wrong?
Objective. Yeah,
Yeah,
that would
objective.
be
Yeah.
kind of the angle.
Yeah, yeah.
It's tough, man. I mean, so many good players, and the other thing I want to shout out is you never know kind of what's going on behind the scenes in terms of intangibles. So that's why, I think a lot of people are inclined to vote for their own team. We talked
Completely.
about this when we were breaking down predictions. Like, yeah, I'm always going to have my own team winning because I trust my guys. I believe, at our best, we could be the best team in the league. Sure, that's probably a stretch to say, but if you don't go in with that mentality, I think you're just not competing correctly. And that's coming from someone who takes this almost entirely for fun. So taking that mindset, applying it to the All Stars voting, right? you should have your teammates as like a top 3 in every role and be able to argue that. Just because these are the people you play alongside with, that you improve with, you fight with. And so that's why I'm with you. Don't vote your own teammates. It's kind of just a douche move. I'm on the same wavelength in terms of MVP voting as well, not voting for either yourself or your teammates for MVP. And if that's something everyone buys into, then we end up with a great product that does what it's supposed to do in honoring your peers and your fellow competitors in the league. So thank you for saying that. And I know I'm just piggybacking off of that, but it does have to be said, and it can't be said enough.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, see, Rusty, 249, man. What a goat. Meanwhile, I'm somewhere down here. 185 a game. JK. I'm out of here. And then, we're just going to skip total gold. Here's gold per game. Witchcrafter. He's just a goat.
This is a tough stat. I feel like it tells more which games go long
Yeah.
than anything else.
Yeah.
No, Mono be collecting gold. What is that guy doing? What's going on here, man?
Dude, Mono goes full double lift sometimes. It's actually quite funny.
Yeah, I don't think those stats are to be ignored, but I just feel CS game is a decent stat to look at. I don't know, gold per game is like, yeah. So, I would love more metrics, and maybe one day if we ever get like access to Riot's API, we can have a bunch more metrics for you guys. So, but
I mean, this was already dope. Like the fact that this was all manual and we have it tracked, and you can look at it and track these things as a stats nerd. It's super fun to see.
I know I was doing really good with champ stats, and I got caught up, and now I'm like giga behind. And now I don't know if I don't know
that one's tough. I think most people care about the player stats, to be fair. So I think don't want to speak for everyone, but that's mainly what I gravitate towards. Because champ stats, it varies so much from team to team that I think most people get their champ stats more from U.GG, OPGG, just the other larger third-party websites with bigger databases to pull from. As
screw them, they're useless.
True. This grassroots league does it right.
True. Well, is there any other takes, CLT? You really didn't really talk too much on this stuff, but was there anything you wanted to say?
No. I mean, I think it was looking down and kind of winding down the split. We're getting in the playoffs. I think there's still a lot of good League of Legends to come. I think the playoffs being double elim has been one of the best changes, because that's what everybody wants to see, is just more games. And I think the top teams, they're either any team can beat any other team on any given day. We even talked about how IBP, all jokes aside, has a wackiness to them. They can steal a game. So it's been a fun split. I agree with Nexus. Going back to the last topic, I think jungle is absolutely fucking stacked this split, and it's gonna be fun to watch these playoffs. Even including the playing games as well. It's a lot of fun. I will give a shout out to Leshay and Seth for being the absolute goats of casting.
Absolutely.
Because this has not been the best split for me to Superman it and cast everything. So I do gotta show those guys nothing but love. I know they are absolutely hilarious. They're funnier than I'm ever gonna be on the cast. And just want to show those guys a lot of love. I know War at the beginning also gets a big shout out. I know he was casting them and even losing some sleep over it. But man, Leshay and Seth bringing on guys like Rexy, flaming people respectfully, but having a lot of fun with it in the streams, man. Those guys have been great. But happy to see we're here at playoffs, and excited to see some good League of Legends, especially this the series tomorrow night, or I guess it'd be tonight.
Hey, dude, you should jump on for that cast.
I might.
Out there.
I might. So I do got some stuff going on in the real world.
Yeah.
On Friday, my dog is getting surgery here in about 7 hours. So
hope all goes well.
Yeah, I appreciate the kind words there. But yeah, I told him I would jump on
I'm
if
praying.
it goes deep, and I'll do the ad breaks and I'll try to make it as entertaining as I can. But I mean, those guys don't need any help. They're freaking goated. And
Yeah,
I think Leshe is probably the only person that talks more than me. So,
true.
well, thanks.
You're welcome.
So,
Yeah, I know. Thankful for the split as always, and I agree. Leche's been awesome and stuff as well. To be able to step back and kind of do just the show has been a vibe for once. Being like, all
yeah,
right, I don't got to think about casting too much. But then I lack knowledge on games because I just don't get around to watching them like I used to either. Because
I feel the same way. Yeah.
I definitely want to find a better format. Every time I try to find a better format with the show, one day I just want to hire a producer, man, and just hire someone to just give me notes. You know, to be honest. Nexus, can you start jotting some?
Anyone out there? Anyone out there?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. I think having guests on kind of acts like that. And I think us returning to having a lot more guests on, present party included, makes it a lot easier for them to talk about their series. But yeah, I mean, we got these playoffs and then Herald League's right around the corner. That's gonna be a lot of fun too. So
Yeah,
a lot of good stuff coming in the server.
indeed. Well, plans, like we said, this weekend, guys. Don't miss the series. Um, yeah, obviously the winner is going to make playoffs officially.
Please don't flame me on Saturday.
All-star voting, I think, should be out soon, along with the MVP voting. Rusty should be posting that if he didn't already. He didn't, right? I haven't missed it.
I believe he did, though. I think he posted it in.
I can find it. I don't know if it
Excuse
got
me,
like
guys.
pulled down for
Let
like
me.
plans.
I swear I found it somewhere.
I saw the
Um,
ping and then I just lost it. So if it is somewhere,
um,
let us know, and maybe if we could post it in a more centralized chat.
so
That'd be great.
it is in the pinned channels and announcements is where he did. He didn't actually post it in the Baron League. So I may have him. I may shoot him a message when we're done with this. Say, hey, can you repost it in Baron? Just to make sure. But yeah,
Yeah,
it is for those listening part of the server. It is in the pinned channels, hashtag announcements. So
yeah, go find it.
that's where I found it.
Well, no, we'll repost it. I think in Baron, we should post it there as well. But
Yeah.
other than that, I got nothing left. Nexus, have anything to say before we sign off?
No, I mean I know it's late. I came on here actually just was working through my personal all-star picks for quite a little bit just in case had to discuss them. So I'll probably just drop those in the chat because I always like sparking some discourse and getting proven wrong. I think it's fun to fire others up, fire yourself up, start to build those storylines. So once that poll comes out, I'm excited to stand by those. But we'll get there when we get there. As always, I mean, always a pleasure to be on this show, talk to you, two lovely gentlemen, about the game I love, and I'm super excited for our series later tonight. I hope you get some rest so you're at your best, and looking forward to tomorrow's games as well, or Saturday's games with CLT. I think plans are a super nice addition to the split. As someone who's always been on the fringe, we actually made it past regular season, so looking forward to it. Thanks again for having me on the show, and I'm going to let you close us out.
All right. Here's some headlines. I'm gonna give you guys the headlines as I close it out. This weekend, two teams will go head to head, and only one team can come out on top. On Saturday, IBP faces off against Femboys. Will they get insane in the house, or will the Femboys keep on their blouse? Gonna find out. On the
Okay, now you gotta
Midwest
do
server.
yours.
And then on Friday, a series between two renowned players as Nexus takes on Hairwiz for the second time this split. Only one can lose the MVP to Akaza. Who is it gonna be? Find
I
out
love it.
as Small Brain No Mechanics takes on. Nobody knows how to say the name. Mapogo, Mapomo, Mo, whatever coalition. Live on your television screens, or actually probably PC. Let's go. There you go. There's your headline.
I've actually streamed a series of the television. It's been quite funny.
All right,
That
so,
banged, man. That was I'm ready. Just let's play now.
all right, dude, I got you. No problem. I'm hopping on.
Uh,
all All right. I mean, we close this down. We'll start talking forever, and then none of us will get sleep. All right. GG. Thank you guys for watching the show as always. Thank you, CLT. Much love, brother. Thank you, Nexus.
Much love, though. Both of
And,
you, both of these goats here.
We'll see you guys next week after, hopefully, not my disaster, because I'll probably be crying on this thing. So.
That would be a long drive.
Oh, I was referring to the Midwest Weekly next week. If we lose, I'll be crying about that.
Oh, I was just thinking the long drive of the vacation.
Oh, okay.
Like, if it unfortunately went down like that. So.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. GG's.